Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday, everybody. How are y'all feeling this morning? It's hump day. I hope y'all feeling pretty good. I feel all right this morning. I'm up and Adam, and we got a lot to talk about this morning regarding this news. And we're going to start with some breaking news with South Florida gospel news. How about that? We are in the news ourselves today. And we are in the news because Facebook said that we violated their community standards uh, when I shared a Gospel Fest flyer. Now, this was back in May, and I just got the notification yesterday that they removed the flyer, sent me a copy of it. They removed the flyer and said it went against their community standards. So what I did was I appealed the decision, and I said, speaking of community, this is a memorial gospel fest. What is wrong with a gospel festival for the community? So I'm waiting for an answer from Facebook, and the South Florida Gospel News group page is a private group page now because these people from different countries were posting pornographic pictures and videos in that group, which Facebook never deleted, never mentioned any warnings or anything about that. But then here they go telling me about a Memorial Gospel Fest flyer that goes against their community standards. Now, whether somebody reported this flyer, I don't know. And if so, why? But I had to go through the South Florida Gospel News Facebook group and delete a lot of pornographic pictures and videos. And I had to make the group private so that anything posted in that group now, since I believe I did that in October, has to be approved by me. So if you go to that group, you'll see a lot of events and live radio broadcasts with gospel music and people who want to share the good news and Bible verses. That's in there because I said it can be in there. But I am ready to go toe to toe with Facebook over this. And I think it's the artificial intelligence making these decisions. That's what I think. So yeah, I'm not happy about that. Now they leave all kind of racist comments, people calling people monkey and all of this other stuff, all kind of excuse me, people in their underwear and thongs and stuff. They leave all of that on there, but then they take down a community gospel fest. I have a problem with that. So I'm going to fight to the end for us to be able to continue to share our content. You can still share your information there. Any flyers that you have, go to Facebook, go to South Florida Gospel News. The group page will come up. Excuse me, my throat again this morning. Sorry about that. The group page will come up, and also there's a business page. And either one, just leave your information. I'll be able to approve it. I really thank everyone who share their information every single day. Thank you so much. Speaking of gospel and people in the gospel who made the news, this lady made headline news. And we're going to talk about Miss Bobbi Storm showing out on a Delta flight. And so let's get into this right quick with Miss Bobbi and how she tried it with Delta. All right. So gospel singer Bobbi Storm was on a Delta flight, right? And so she was so hyped up about being nominated for a Grammy. And boy, am I going to tear her up about that. But she said she was nominated for 2 Grammy Awards and was on a flight. And she thought in her head that God told her to sing to the whole flight before it took off and that the whole plane was her stage. However, the lead flight attendant, the flight leader that's right there in her face telling her to please sit down, stop talking and stop singing, let her know not today. We don't want to hear that. People have paid their money to get on this flight and they don't want to hear you yodeling and singing. We don't want to hear that. So she was very offended and slick mouthed standing up saying, well, the buckle seatbelt light is not on. And he was like, okay, well, you can have a seat. And I just want to know if you're going to stop talking. If you can't stop talking, we are going to remove you from this flight. He didn't have a problem with her talking, but he had a problem with her talking to the entire airplane full of people. Now, she said that she received, no, she said she was doing God's work. That's what she said, right? And so then she started bragging about these Grammy nominations that she received. And so the flight leader came to her yet again and said, Miss Ma'am, if you don't stop talking, I'm going to have you removed. I need a yes or no answer. Can you be quiet? So she said, if I don't, does that mean I'm going to jail? He said, that means we will remove you from this flight. So look at her face. You can see the sarcasm behind her glasses. So then she turns to the back of the plane to say, well, I guess I just have to sing to y'all. And so she started there yodeling back there, saying her song was called We Can't Forget Him, and Warren G is part of it, and Michael McDonald approved because part of the song goes, I keep forgetting that you saved my life, whatever it was. But it was that old hook from Michael McDonald. I keep forgetting we're not in love anymore. That song, that hook is part of her song, We Can't Forget Him. So she's telling the back of the plane, I got nominated for 2 Grammys today. Well, let me break that down for you because I know this music industry very well. And I know to go and look to verify what she said. So it turns out that Miss Bobbi Storm's name is nowhere in the Grammy nominations, right? So turns out that she was a featured vocalist on The Maverick Way, which is nominated for Christian Gospel Song of the Year. Um, she was nominated with Maverick City Music. She wasn't nominated. Maverick City Music was nominated. They have 2 categories. I only put one on here. But it was Best Contemporary Christian Music, and then it's Best Christian Contemporary Gospel Album. Maverick City Music was nominated in those 2 categories, not Bobbi Storm. So I went and said, well, let me just verify, let me make sure, because I don't want to, shame the lady and then be dead wrong. So I looked up who are members of Maverick City Music. So when I looked up Maverick City Music, they list the members: Chandler Moore, Brandon Lake, Naomi Rain, Aaron Moses, Marianne J. George, Harold Brown. Let me get the last name and take this banner off. Sorry about that. Give me just a moment. Uh, and Alton Eugene. Bobbi Storm's name is nowhere on that list. So on one of the songs on the album, she sang the lead, right? So the group is nominated for a Grammy. Maverick City Music, not Bobbi Storm, is nominated. And she was on there, I got nominated for 2 Grammys today. And she made it, the way she worded it, made it seem like she got nominated for 2 Grammys for her song, We Can't Forget Him. And that's just not the truth. And then you see here where Best Contemporary Christian Music Performance Song and is listed the same for Best Contemporary Christian Gospel Album, where it has Maverick City Music. Her name is nowhere in there. So she sang on a song on the album. But no, ma'am, you are not nominated for 2 Grammy Awards. You're not. And then the media just picked up on that and ran with it without verifying that information. And that's terrible. So, anyway, I will say what she should have done was talk about her own music, which is We Can't Forget Him, which came out in September. And her song did chart on Billboard charts. All right. It came out number 50, and then it went up to number 36. That was a couple of months ago in September. That's what she should have been bragging about. And her label is Tribal Records, Tribl Records. So Miss Bobbi Storm, or whatever your real name is, because they were tearing you up plenty on Instagram. See, she thought by posting the video that her whoever was sitting beside her, she thought that the public was going to attack this gentleman, this flight leader on Delta. But what happened was people saw through that and saw her ego and how she was trying to shine and perform like she had a whole audience full of people and was going to get on there with that yodeling and like she was just going to take over the plane. Oh, I got nominated for 2 Grammys. No, you did. First of all, you lied. And then second of all, you need to sit down, put that seatbelt on, and be quiet. Because if I pay my money and I only fly Delta and I pay my good money to get on my Delta flight to where I'm going, I don't want to hear you yodeling. I want to read that magazine in the back of that seat pocket, or I'm going to look out the window and look down, say my prayers that we get there safely, and then I'm going to shut my eyes and try to take a nap until I get to my destination. So, Miss Bobbi, you have to have some etiquette. And this goes to gospel artists. Don't think that you just have a platform everywhere you go, because you don't. You do not. Gospel music has never saved anybody. Gospel music cannot get you into heaven. It can make you feel good. It can encourage you, but it can't save anybody. Never has. So, Miss Bobbi, they have been shredding you on Instagram, and I hope you go through and read the messages, including the one that I left. I left two actually, letting you know that you are not nominated for a Grammy Award. First of all, as an individual, you have to have a letter from someone who's already a member of the Recording Academy. You have to apply, pay your membership, and be accepted in order to be nominated. And even then, you might not be nominated. So don't skip the line and leave everybody out on that album, which is theirs and not yours, saying you've been nominated for 2 Grammys. All right, I'm done talking about her. So I have an update to share with you regarding Miss Keke Palmer. Remember, I told you last week that Keke filed a restraining order against her child's father, saying that he was a violent person and he had choked her, and I even said he had a problem keeping his hands off her neck. She said he was a jealous person. Well, it turns out that there's a different narrative. Court records reveal a lot of things because it's public record. So what had happened for real was Mr. Darius went to pick up his baby on a Sunday. So they're not even staying together. So he went to go get his baby like a lot of men do. They go to the baby mama house, and the two of them got into it. He went to pick up his baby. The baby wasn't even there. So instead of her calling him saying, hey, he's not home or he's with my mom or whatever, she didn't do anything. Waited till he got there. So when he got there, he was like, where's my baby at? She picks up the phone and calls her mom and puts her mom on speakerphone. So they started arguing. The mom got into it and started arguing. And the mom says, you gonna make me pull a bullet in your head. Anyway, all the man kept saying, where my baby at? Where my baby at? And that's the way he's saying it. Where's my baby? So the picture that was shown with him looked like he was snatching her over the couch. They were fighting over her phone. Excuse me. He was telling her, get off the phone with your mom. Tell me where my baby is so I can go pick him up. I'm supposed to have him today, and I want to spend some time with him. So that's what the argument was about the baby not being there and her saying she didn't want him around the baby because he's a violent person. So anyway, the judge did grant the temporary restraining order and the temporary full child custody. So, yes, he is absolutely denying the abuse claims. He said, I went to get my baby. She had her mom on the phone talking junk and threatening me. And so I was trying to take the phone away from her. I didn't hit her or anything. So then after that, Darius's mom and Kiki's mom started going back and forth through text messages. Now, the top part in gray is Darius's mom, and the bottom part is Kiki's mom. She said, Hello, Sharon. How are you? I have tried not to get involved in my son's personal business, but I heard that you are going to put a bullet in my son's head. Well, then now we have to involve the authorities because you don't respect or value yourself. And I can see, she said, know my son's life. You might have to kill all of us. I will file a police report on you now. All right. So that last sentence, we'll have to try to interpret what that meant. So Kiki's mom responded. Her name is Sharon. Please do not contact me with this ridiculous childish behavior. Your son choked his own sister. Deal with his anger issues. If he attacks my daughter in her own, where she pays the bills, he is trespassing and anything can happen, so he should stay away. You should be very ashamed to have raised a man who fights women. First of all, not the death threats. And I understand her being upset. I don't know if I would have said the same thing. First thing I would have did is stay out their business because they'll be fighting like cats and dogs and be back together next week. You know these young people how they do. They got a baby together, so they'll be together for life, whether they are physically together or not. They share a human being on this earth. But I would be careful about the death threats, and that is certainly going to come up in court. So, Mr. Darius and all young men out here who are battling baby mama and their mama, all I can say is God bless you. Do the right thing. Be smart about it. Take care of your responsibility, which is your child first. And I pray all the best for the both, everyone involved, because at the end of the day, the one who was hurt the most is the little baby. Now, speaking of finding out information in court in this public record, Ara Kelly is suing the U.S. prison officials and Tasha K over alleged leaking of information. Now, let me see if I can dissect this right quick. So, R. Kelly is suing the Federal Bureau of Prisons, which is where he is right now, serving a 30-year sentence. Um, and Tasha K, she's a YouTuber. She's a very popular person who has a YouTube channel and she has her own website where she does dishes dirt, like National Enquirer kind of dirt. If you remember that newspaper where they just make up stuff and printed and end up getting sued. This is the lady that Cardi B sued for telling lies about her and her family, and Cardi B won a $4 million lawsuit. So Tasha K jumped up and filed for bankruptcy, but the judge said, you gonna pay this $4 million. So Tasha K um, received some information from some of the guards who work in the prison. Now, in the prison, you're able to send and receive emails back and forth from your attorney. That should be privileged information, which is probably why he is suing. Um, the prison guards leaked the emails to Tasha K, and she put them on one of her shows. And in an interview that R. Kelly did with another YouTuber, he talked about Tasha K and how she makes up stuff and tells lies, and how the information that she received was leaked from the people who work there. So he is suing, and the attorney client privilege, that's not public information, but his court case is. This information came from his case when he was on trial and got found guilty in 2019. So I will say good luck, Mr. R. Kelly. Good luck with this Tasha K. She lives around here in South Florida somewhere because I know where she gets her hair done. Um, which I'm not going to name, but she does get her hair done right here in Palm Beach County. Maybe she lives in Wellington or somewhere. I don't know, but not the most well liked person. Kind of like on an Omarosa level. When you see her, you be like, "Oh, hey, girl," but not really, "Hey, girl." Okay. Now moving on to a new relationship. ah. Common and Jennifer Hudson are dating. She has confirmed it. She says she is very happy. We haven't heard anything from Common or confirmation that they are dating, but she put it out. They were spotted in public holding hands together, and that's it. She's happy. I thought she was still with Marlon Wayans after she made the Aretha Franklin movie. Hmm. But anyway, they said they've been dating. Well, she said they've been dating since I believe September. I guess after he got tired of well, I think that was another relationship where she was saying that they were got together. Tiffany Haddish. Hmm. I do know Common. I haven't talked to him in 20 years or so, 30 maybe. Common was roommates with my boyfriend when I was in college, right? So Common, he was called Common Sense back then. That was his rap name. And he put out a song that took off. And one day he just packed up his stuff. He had got a record deal. I don't remember the label. Was it Def Jam or somebody? I don't remember the record label, but he got signed. One day he was in class. The next day, Common had packed up his little stuff in his suitcases and duffel bags. And he was like, "Bro, I'll holler at you later." And he was out the door. So let's just say, from what I know of him, a very nice, respectful gentleman. He's just not the marrying kind. I don't know how old Jennifer Hudson is, but I do know Common is in his 50s. Far as I know, no children. But everybody keeps saying, "Oh, he's only going to be with her for a year, then he'll let her go." Well, that's her choice. So if you get with somebody who's been with everybody, and then he's a love him and leave him, or do they leave him? I don't know. But all I would say is, Jennifer, if you are happy, that's good to hear. If you are happy with this man, and he's a he's won an Oscar, so good luck. That's all I say. May your days be filled with happiness. And Marlon Wayans came out and said that his daughter has transitioned into a young man. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. Marlon Wayans said his daughter had transitioned into a young man, and sometimes he misgenders her, but not on purpose. Him, I'm sorry, but not on purpose, because growing up, that was his daughter, but she has decided to transition into a young man. And in other news, we're going to talk about McDonald's, the McRib. Who actually likes the McRib? I don't. I don't want pickles and onions with my ribs, but it's not real ribs anyway. They just take some pork meat and flatten it out to the shape of a slab of a rib. They put some indentations to look like grill marks, and then they put it between a bun, like a hoagie roll, and put fake barbecue sauce and onions and pickles on it. Super yuck, but some people like it. But anyway, McDonald's is bringing the McRib back, and I'll tell you where you can get it. I will say the good thing is that you won't be able to get it in South Florida. They're having a limited release starting Thursday, November 16th. You can get the McRib in Tallahassee, Florida, and Jacksonville, Florida. Those are the only two places you'll be able to find the McRib at McDonald's. At those McDonald's in Tallahassee and Jacksonville. You can get the McRib in Georgia, in Savannah, Georgia, and Macon, Georgia. And you can also get the McRib in Southeast South Carolina. Those are the only places. So if you love the McRib, fill up the car with gas and drive to Tallahassee or Jacksonville. That's the closest you'll be able to get it. If you live in Florida, I think that's all I have for the news. I got to get up and get on out of here. You guys have a great Wednesday. Don't let anybody steal your joy. Nobody. Nobody. Remember, you are beautifully and wonderfully made. You are God's child. Nobody has a heaven or hell to put you into. And just know that your enemy today will be your footstool tomorrow. Say your positive affirmations. Say, God, I love you. Get in the mirror and say, I love you. Be positive. Be thankful for everything that you have. Because by the grace of God, His mercy is allowing you to be where you are. And it won't be like this always. If you're in a bad or tough situation, it will turn around. He's always with you. All right, y'all, get up and get in that shower. Take a wash off if you're not going to shower. Wash something before you put those clothes on. Have a great Wednesday. I love y'all. I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.